Welcome to the B6. We're back.
Well, B6, what's good? LA
Back
Triple, what's going on, man?
back on the bus, man. What's up? What's the
Ah,
topic for
nothing,
today?
man. Nothing, man. Crazy. Week going on for me. I know you got your stuff going on your end, but I was just like rekindling on. I guess the last time we was talking about, and you mentioned my ex, and it just thinking about when we first started out, it was kind of considered like puppy love. Um, First love, or real love, I thought at the time. And then I was trying to just distinguish between or get other people's opinion about puppy love versus real love or the one. Uh, I think I think we can safely say you found the one, but I've always
Yeah.
struggled with finding the one or thinking this might be the one or um, I don't know for sure.
What do you think would be your definition of puppy love? Like, what do you think? Like
Of
the
puppy
difference?
love,
Yeah. What do you call puppy love?
uh, honestly, we don't call puppy love puppy love. From where we from, we just that's my
Yeah.
girl. We like them, um, but I think that's just a global phrase that people just automatically know. But um, we 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 identify that someone that I'm really feeling is the beginning stages.
And
Um,
it's not real, right? Like, I mean, it's just you think it's real, but it's not.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
and
bro,
it's
you're
not.
too young to know that it's
Yeah,
love.
yeah.
It's just
Well,
like
that's
infatuation, like you just attracted, and it's. I mean, it's probably nothing more than that.
well, that's why parents look at it as this is just it's puppy love, whatever. But um, in my case, I've had a lot of. I've had a lot that probably was puppy love, but it could have materialized into something different. I was just immature at the time where you know, I just went with it until it just fell apart. What about you? You ever had anything that you
Yeah,
thought
I
might have been?
the more I thought about this topic, like I said, it could get real deep. I didn't have a lot of relationships, but I'm like, how do I know my wife now was the one, and it wasn't puppy love because I got with my wife at a young age. I think 18, 19, uh, or she was 17, I was 18. So I guess you could call that puppy love. You know what I'm saying? But the girl before her, um, she ended with me. It's like I was thinking to myself, how do I know she was the one? What if the girl before me didn't end it? Because I felt like I kind of like loved kind of hard. Like I never saw myself with being with a lot of different women. I always my father was married to my mother a long time. So in my head, I was like I just wanted to find a girl and be with a girl
For a
and
long
marry the
time.
girl. Yeah. So how do I know she was the one? I liked her. I was feeling her. So I was just moving forward,
So you really
building.
wasn't looking for puppy love. All right, so what we think the puppy love is just it's temporary. I think when people think about puppy love, it's temporary. It's just the butterflies, I guess you could say, in the stomach. You just feeling them at that time. The one when you say, I think it's long term. That's gonna be forever. That person uh, uh, represents you, vice versa. Anything you're lacking, they're lacking. Something like that. I don't know, but um,
My thing is that if my wife now would have done something to turn me off, then we probably wouldn't be. It wouldn't be long term, right? Like if it's like say she smoked or uh, you a type of person that don't like to be asked for something. Like say she wants, hey, buy me this. Like some women, they're like what you call gold diggers, right? Or like they want stuff. So for to ask a man for certain things, they will probably look at you like, hey, is he using me for my money? Is she using me for my money? So that might be a turn off. Whatever your turn off is, my wife now never gave me any real turn offs. So it was like I liked everything she was giving me. So
mhm.
we kept on building. But if it was a girl, like if I'm feeling a girl and she does something to turn me off, then I think I would want to get off at that point. I would want to end it. But again, I wasn't really looking for like a lot of different girls. Like in my mind, I wasn't like, okay, I'm with this one. Let me try the next one. Let me try another one. I was. It wasn't like that for me.
I guess that's was your upbringing and your surroundings. Everybody else was building a foundation. I think everybody around me was kind of divided. I'm not saying my parents wasn't together, but I was looking, I was idolizing more of what everybody else was doing, which was getting your numbers up, being with multiple people. And
Yeah,
that's how I could define it. So I mean, I that's why I said I had a lot of puppy loves because I didn't believe in the one. I wanted the one, but I just kept changing too much to believe. Okay, and then outside of that, I saw divorces and or not just around me on TV and stuff like that. So why am I looking for the one if I know the one is not going to be forever? You know what I mean?
but
It's
you gotta know the one. Like other people can't know it for you, right? Like you said in the last episode when you brought your girlfriend at the time over to your family, and she was like a little aggressive, and your family looking at her like this is you, Jay, or whatever. Like they're probably in their head like, yo, she ain't the one. But you
I
got
don't
to know
know.
who the one is.
Again, that's the thing. Like I think my family has been respectful enough to say I don't want to be the one to make that decision for you because what if I'm wrong? So they wouldn't say anything. I
Yeah,
had to pretty much feed off everybody's energy, but ultimately go with the one that I go with.
yeah. But like, would you like with your daughter? Like, would you get involved in that situation? Or what would you want for your child? Would you want them to have these puppy loves at 18, 17, 19 years old? Like, would you?
You hope your kids listen to you, but a lot of times they listen, they hear you, but do what you say is something totally different. So the only thing you can do is give them advice, be there for them for the good and the bad times, and make the right decision. You hope they do, but if they don't, you know.
See, we was actually talking about this last night, like because we have to have an understanding when we're parents and like agreement, um, how we want to raise our kids. And there was a show back in the day called I don't know if you heard of it, man. Like it's gonna make us sound old, shucks, man. 227. There's a show called 227, black show. Like it wasn't many black shows, but
You motherfucker, I know what to say.
227.
I was
Yeah,
just I was just about to say, wait a minute. What is he about to say that I don't know? But all right, go ahead.
yeah, but I mean,
It is an
probably
old show, so
our audience probably don't know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
the girl, I forgot the actress name, very popular actress now, but she was a
The
teenage
woman,
girl. Yeah, the teenager. She came in a
Regina
couple.
Bell. What is it?
Regina
Was that her
Hall.
name? Gina Hall. Gina Hall.
That's her. Because I
Ah,
always
my
get them
bad.
mixed up. There's a couple of them that's like similar in age and looks, but the parents was like, you can't date until you're 16, and that's final. Like, and she was like, but they could go out on group dates and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
me and my wife was talking about it last night. It was like, I think our age should be 18. Like, we don't want dating or like girlfriend boyfriend to distract them from like their goal or their mission. Like we want our kids to go away for college, and we figure like if they get involved with a girlfriend or boyfriend, that might influence them not leaving.
Mhm.
Just imagine you in a relationship and you're supposed to go out of state to college or go away for college, and now you're in this relationship. You might rethink that. You might say, I'm in this puppy love, like, I don't want to leave. It's
Right.
like they think it's whatever they have, it's it, and
Mhm.
they haven't really experienced life and experienced other things and challenges and things like that. So you might meet someone who you love more. Like who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Like who knows? You know who that it might just very well be the one, but I don't want that for my kids. I want them to be in a relationship later in life. Like I want them to hang out, be with friends, go on group dates and stuff. Not dates, but like go out as a group. But to say to try, I don't want anything to get serious. Like so, how do I
Mm-hmm.
stop it from getting serious? Like I don't want them to have these puppy loves to where it's gonna influence them.
All you could do in the process is give advice and hope they listen. I mean, I see where you're going with it.
That's just what I want. But I don't.
Most of the time they're not gonna do. Like I can tell you, my cousin is kind of going through the same situation with one of his kids. It's not the same thing for his puppy love, but for us a decision he wishes he made. All
Yeah,
you can do is give advice and hope for the best. Hope, because sometimes our advice is not always the best. Sometimes our advice is just
yeah.
the best that would probably work for us and not them. So you just gotta be patient and be prepared for the worst.
There,
you know.
there was a story. This is a real story that happened in my wife family. I was over her family's house, and it was this young kid over there. He was very cocky, very into himself, and he was talking about basketball, how he's gonna make it to the NBA, how good he is, and like he's nice, nice. And you know how I am with basketball, so I figured I wanted to bring him down a notch because he was talking real cocky. I never seen him play, but just the way he was talking, I'm like it was kind of getting my competitive thing. So I wanted to bring him down a notch, and I was like, I was like, you want me to tell you why you're not gonna make it to the NBA? He was like, how? I was like, do you have a girlfriend? He's like, yeah. Like that's why you're not gonna make it to the NBA.
It's people that make it to the NBA with a girlfriend, man.
Yeah, there's people there, but it's a small amount of people
Yeah,
because like girlfriends, they distract you. So with
yeah, yeah.
basketball, if you want to be the best at something, you got to put in a lot of time, a lot of like I know a little bit about basketball, and I didn't make it. So and I
Yeah.
thought I was good, but if I was to put in the work, I would have had a better
Hmm.
chance. And I know
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend during those times, and I know a lot of my times went to my girlfriend. It didn't
Yeah.
go to me being in the gym. Like you hear stories about Kobe all the time. Like he wake up in the gym, take a nap for lunch or whatever. He go back to the gym, take
Hmm.
a nap, go back to the gym at night. Like in order to make it
Be
amongst
number one.
many,
Hmm.
got to put in that work. So just imagine if you had a girlfriend during those times that makes you feel good, y'all sexual and stuff like that. So it's like that feeling you want to keep experiencing it. I just feel like if you were to have a girlfriend at that young age, it will take away from whatever you want to do in life. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying you can't do it or there's no NBA players who had high school girlfriends, but you're
So,
going to spend a lot of time away from them, and they're not
so,
they're not going to like that at a young age.
so that's what I guess we could jump back into the puppy love in number one because somebody that's a basketball player and they got a girl. What if it's the one? I
That's
mean,
that's
how
that's
you
the
know the
deep
difference?
question though. Like how do you know there's not 10 ones? You know what I mean? Like how do
Yeah,
you know there's more than
I,
it's not more than one?
and I
Like
was sitting there when I came up with this idea with the puppy love versus the one. I had a lot of possible ones, a lot.
yeah, right.
I think to get to be able to distinguish the one and puppy love, your mental has to be at a certain stage. I think yours and Terry's uh, was on a mature level early. Um, I might have been an immature, and the one that I was with was mature, but you both have to be on the same playing field. You both have to be have trying to go to the same common goal. Um, because I sat back and look at all the relationships that I've been in. Some of them now I can identify. Okay, that could have been the one, and and the other ones was only puppy love. You know what I mean? Because you have to have some type of connection, obviously physical attraction, I think mental attraction, and um, uh, a mental for the future. Like you say, I can see this person in the future, and I can do this with the person in the future. I think that's why a lot of mine's never materialized in the puppy love. It was just probably more just a physical thing, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Well, number one, both of you guys, I think, just have to want to get to the same place.
Mm,
Like, because like you might want to get there, and the other person like might look at it like this is just puppy love for me. I mean, I want to experience other people. I'm not looking to be tied down. I just want to have fun. And like I was looking at it like I want to be with this person. I want to be with this person long term. And if my wife now wasn't looking at it like that, then we probably wouldn't be. Because I know the girlfriend before, I was looking at her the same way. That was
your
I
wife?
just before my wife, I was looking at that person the same way. Like I want to
Like,
be with her long term.
okay, okay, okay.
So, but
Yeah.
but that girl didn't have that in mind, so that's why it didn't work. But like
Hmm.
the divorce rate is high. It was like 50%, whatever the high percentage is. It's like plenty of times me and my wife have disagreements, and I can't say we never felt like calling it quits. Like, so like, how do we say she was
So
the one?
that never scared you into not doing it at all, being that you know the divorce rates are high, people don't last.
Never
That doesn't
thought
make
about it.
you really?
I never thought. I wanted a wife, a family. I just wanted to. Like that was just what I had in mind. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a whole bunch of girlfriends and chicks and like that. I just wanted a wife, family, start having kids, and build.
The problem I have is that a lot of relationships I've been in that didn't last. I've been looking for the one that you can have that argument, that fight, and you both know in the back of your mind, no matter how drastic it is. Obviously, if it gets physical, you're not supposed to be with that person. You need to get counseling. You need to end it right away. You should never
Right.
get into physical altercation. But if you're like just have a disagreement and it, people make mistakes. At the end of the day, both parties know I just need some time and I'm gonna get back to it. I think that's why you guys last as long as you did, because no matter how heated it got, you take your little break, you're not talking for a minute, but you'll be back. Y'all get over it. Apologize, move on.
So,
Some of the relationships I've been in, it got bad and it just kept getting bad and it then eventually ended. You know what I mean?
like one is gonna be more stubborn. Like a lot of times, I always say my wife. She's more like I guess she's. I'm more. I would say warm. She's more cold. Like
Mm.
I'm more the one that would. I'm stubborn at times, but like I'm more the one that would apologize or like just all right. Let's just move forward more than her. But at the end of the day, I think I really just talking now, just saying things out loud. I just think we both want the same things, and I think if you're with someone, communication is important because I know you're young, you don't really want to have those conversations, but you got to know what your partner wants. Like, do they want do they see themselves as just being in one relationship and eventually getting married and having kids? Like maybe they see themselves doing it, but not necessarily with you or not necessarily now. Maybe they want to live a little bit before
Mm.
they settle down. But maybe you ready to settle down now. But I think if two people are ready to work for the same thing, I think it will work as long as you guys want it to work. So I don't believe in necessarily the one. Like I don't know if how my wife would feel listening to this, but like
So
I just it's
who,
it's more than one.
how would you give advice about what somebody should look out for to distinguish of, okay, this is just going to be puppy love and this is the one? Like what is some of the signs?
But you should be better to answer that because you had a lot more
I haven't
puppy love,
found the one, bro.
bro. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't believe there's the one. Like I believe, yeah, it could be the one, but I'm just saying you could make not that you could make anybody the one, but I think you guys have to want the same thing. That's what I'm just trying to say. Like
Mm.
you gotta communicate. I know young people don't like to talk about serious topics. But if it's important to you, like what you want in
So
life, you want to, hey, I just want you. You can't meet a girl after 1 week and say I want you to be my wife. So how do
so it
you
got to be
go
just
along?
more than just the physical, because I think puppy love is just the googly eyes or whatever you want to call it, the physical attraction. I think that's the puppy love, and just the person just makes you happy. But once it materializes into saying it's the one, is because you saying because you got a common goal, y'all see yourself in the future.
Me personally, it's for me personally, if you do things that I can't see myself with, like if it was certain things that turn me off, like I mentioned earlier, smoking, or maybe it's just the way you dress. It's like you hot and everything, but like I can't see you as my wife. Like I like to visualize things. So if there's things that turn me off about a person, then we wouldn't get to the one level. So and that's just me. So they have to have the women
So,
have to have the
or
same feelings. So
so has it so for to be the one, you think for you or a man, should it be more than just the physical attraction?
definitely should be more than physical, but it starts with the physical attraction, and then you just kind of weed out whatever, or go through or experience things together to find out if you guys could be on the same team or the same track. Because it's not just one. It's not up to just one person. Unless it's like, what do you want out of this? What do she want out of this? Okay,
So
let's.
when you picked and say when y'all picked each other and say, yeah, this is the one I see myself moving forward, you already did you calculate everything, living together, family, kids,
Yeah,
partnership, or you
we,
just said, let's just try it?
nah, everything it was all it was calculated and thought about because like I was telling my wife, I never went on dates before her. Like we went to the movies. I was young.
Mm-hmm.
Dinner, go out to dinner. Like my wife, she's the one who, let's go to Park Slope. We walk down Park Slope. We go into this restaurant. We sat down together. We eat. I never had that prior. Like the girlfriends I had, it wasn't none of that. We wasn't going to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't going out to dinner. So like my wife exposed me to these different things. I guess she learned it first,
Mm-hmm.
and just going through things together. Like I don't. Maybe I'm the wrong person because I feel like I love hard. Like I'm like, okay, the only way it's gonna turn me off if I feel like you're doing something that I'm not gonna compromise certain things for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like if you meet a woman and she does certain things, you can't change her. Like, okay, she does that. I don't like it. Maybe we shouldn't be together.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on to the next one. But I again, I don't feel like there's one person in the world for you. It's like people get divorces and they find somebody else. It's
Okay.
like, you if you want it to work and they want it to work, it's probably a good chance it's going to work. But you both have to want the same
So
thing.
man, so I ask you this: in this process of you just breaking down, okay, is she the one or not? Was there things that you saw that you didn't like, and you had to ask yourself, "I'm gonna work around this," or was everything to your likings the whole time?
That would be the argument. It's like if it was something that came up, like, like what? It's like whatever it is, I don't want to put my wife's business out there. I remember
All
we
right, all
talked
right.
about it.
Let me ask you this, because yeah, exactly. You're not gonna put your wife's business out there. I'm not asking you to. Give you an example. In the beginning stage, it's still puppy love. At one point, you're in the living room, and she went to the bathroom. It didn't cut the light out. Did you have to ask yourself, okay, she doesn't cut the light off. I can live with that.
Nah,
Is it little small things like that?
nah. All right, let me give you a better example. Hey. And we had this again. We had this conversation. we had this conversation last night. We had because my wife, I moved
Don't
to Florida.
incriminate yourself, man. You
I
can go
moved
with
to
the light.
uh, I moved to Florida first, and she followed behind me, and she
Yeah.
came with me, and we were staying with my in-laws, my brother-in-law, and I remember my brother-in-law is older than me, so again, I looked up to my elders. I wouldn't call him an elder, but it was like just a little generation ahead of you. So
Mhm.
um, he had pulled me to the side one time and said, you know, your wife, well, it wasn't my wife at the time. Your girl, you gotta. She's her skirt is really short, and a lot of guys are just looking at her like you should talk to
This
her
was
about.
really happening?
Yeah, yeah. It
Oh,
was in our. We wasn't married,
yeah,
but we
yeah,
were
yeah.
together. Young, young. We've been married 18 years now, so it was a long time. And her skirt was really short. It was, and he pulled me to the side. He told me that hey, you should
Hmm.
talk to her because a lot of guys are just looking at her. When she sit down, it's just it's there. Everything is there.
Yeah.
And I think I told you the story on here. So I approached her and I told her, I didn't say it came from him. I approached her straight and I'm like, dress however I said. I can't remember how exactly I said it, but it's really short. Like, I don't think it's a good idea to wear that. It's too much attention or whatever.
Yeah.
However I said it. And she respected it. We never spoke about it again, but she never wore those short dresses
Nice.
again. So like that's the indication, not even analyzing at the time, analyzing now, but at the time I wasn't analyzing and saying, and is that wife material or not? It's just, but it's probably a lot of examples like that. Like
That was one of the ones where you say, okay, she's the one because
it didn't stand out to me. Like it was because I think it was a lot of examples like that. She was
yeah.
a wife material. Was I a husband material? Like, I don't know. I mean, I tried to be, and I actually, asked my wife. We went out to dinner last night because it's actually our 18th 18th
Oh,
on
for
year
real?
anniversary. Yeah.
Oh,
So
congrats,
we
man.
was
What the
we was
fuck? That could have been a damn topic. Go ahead,
we
man.
was having these serious conversations. I was like, what made me the one like for you? Because I know you text me about the topic, so I'm picking her brain with
Oh,
it.
you asked her?
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, so this episode gonna be about me?" Like, I was like, "No, you might come up," but
Yeah.
but she said that I'm like I was thoughtful. Like I was always thoughtful, and I came from a good family because her family wasn't like that. How close my family was, and she never had that. Like she had a small family, and they wasn't close. So she liked
Mhm,
the family I came from, and she liked that I was like thoughtful. So
mhm,
that's what to her maybe she thought I was a husband material. So again, it's not a one-sided thing. I think both sides have to want the same thing or see the same qualities in each other and have those I can't even say those talks, man, because we really didn't have those talks until now. Like we didn't really analyze the process
why?
going through it. It
Yeah,
just
why each other?
organically.
Yeah, you know, like ask each other why are you the one until now.
Yeah, until now. But
It's
it's like
fucking
something
crazy, man.
it's just something you just know. And I just feel again, I don't feel like there's just one for every one person. Like by
Mhm.
you saying I'm searching for the one, I don't feel like that's a
No,
accurate thing to say.
you're absolutely right because, like I said in the beginning, that I've had a lot of puppy loves that could have materialized into the one. I just wasn't ready, and
Right.
I,
You
I
didn't want
kept
it
getting distracted. No,
for
I just
whatever
kept getting
reason.
distracted. I kept getting distracted, or it was just something in both parties where we kept messing it up from materializing into the one. Maybe an argument that just couldn't get over it. One of us couldn't get over it, or we just wasn't focused enough. You got to have a certain amount of focus in both, and that's why you guys last as long as you did. You've been focused for so long. You never even asked the most. important question to one another. Why am I the one? Or why
Yeah,
did you want me? You know what I mean? It
yeah.
just naturally happened. And that's how you find out, I guess, if you're the one.
But you know what I haven't
18
experienced?
years. Sheesh.
I haven't. Well, I probably had a heartbreak once, right? But if you had a lot of different puppy loves, how did you deal with the heartbreak? Was it like your heart broken, or a lot of time was their heart broken? Like,
Different ways every man can relate to this that's been heartbroken. Move on to the next one. Hurry up and find another girl quick so you can forget about that one. And if you really care about them, you don't get over it that way that quick. So I've experienced multiple ways of trying to get over a person. Puppy love. Um, Either jump into the next relationship, um, being by myself, which is always the worst because then your mind just goes crazy. Um, Travel, be with a friend, but most of the time it was with trying to just jump into the next relationship, which you should never do because you probably won't learn from the last one. You need to take that time to just like see what you did wrong in both. So there's just multiple ways, man.
part of me would want to advise my kids, or it's like I don't know what I want really, but it's like I would want them to experience different people and not just meet the first person and say, "Hey, I want a wife," or marry the first person you meet. I mean, it's kind of like my wife and I. It's not. We've been with other people, so it's not totally the case for us. But we wasn't with a lot of other people. So, but if I had an invite to give an advice to younger people, it's like I would want them to find themselves first. Like date
I
around,
agree.
you know, see. But then, how, like you said, how do you know she's a one? Like you might pass up someone who is probably great
If
for
you
you.
don't have to change yourself too much, 'cause that's a lot of that's another thing too. Sometimes you'll try to match your energy with somebody that's not even the one, just to please them a little bit. That's why he was like, maybe you should just shop around, find yourself. I think that's the best way to do it. Uh, because if you're just searching for the one and not trying to fix yourself, you'll never really find the one. Because once you find the one and you haven't found yourself yet, that's not really the one. Because the one that you found is attracted to the person that they thought you were. Does that make sense? If you find yourself first
Yeah,
and then look for the one, then the
right,
one will be attracted to you because you found yourself. You know what I mean?
right, right, right.
For me, still working on that. Still working on a lot of stuff. That's why I think I've uh, protected myself from accepting possibly the one. Um, and then I guess, like I said, from where we came from and where I'm used to idolizing, I was looking for the one, but I wasn't practicing what I should be doing to keep a potential one. Because, like I said, I've been with multiple people that could have been the one. I just did my part of fucking it up.
Well, you know, when you get involved with someone, you got to be careful because like that person changes you, right? It's like
Hmm.
um one person might be more dominant. We talked about that before. Like they might like influence you a lot, or they might use you, take advantage or manipulate you. But like
Hmm.
you could you it could be a family member. You see your cousin or your brother, and then they get involved in a relationship. All of a sudden, they start acting different. Like you don't recognize this person. So you got to be careful. It's hard because it's still puppy love. You feel in this person, but then the other person have different intentions for you. So it's hard to give advice or navigate that because you feel like you're in love, but
Hmm.
outside people looking in, it's like you ever see relationships, it's like, yo, how could this person be with that person? Like, see how bad
Yeah,
they
man.
treat them and stuff like that. But obviously, that person who's in it don't see it. And they even have marriages like that. You're like, man, you're like, how could this person be married to this person? Like the way that she's treated.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of psychological issues have to be happening for you to be in a relationship with someone who treats
Believe
you
me,
this
in my
bad.
line, believe me, in my line of business, I that's my sole purpose is to detect things. And yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, how is this person with that person? Or sometimes I'll be like, I understand it completely.
Yeah, but it might be what they say was good for the goose, good for the gander, whatever. I don't even know what that means. But it was an episode of Seinfeld, and he was like, "What the hell is a gander?" It's like, but I
Yeah,
guess I think it's a gang of goose, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
But I don't know. It's like if you feel loved, if that's love for you, but then it might be a better person out there for you. Like, but you might never really experience that. So it's like it goes both ways. You
Mm-hmm.
could be blocking your blessing, or somebody else could be blocking it for you. But um,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I don't know. I guess I'm lucky to have. I can't. I could tell you this. Like, I don't know if there's a better person out there for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I could have had other relationships, but I feel like my wife, she's not perfect. By all means, she's not. But I just don't feel like there's a better person out there. Like, we compliment each other, and whatever slack I'm missing or I'm having, she picks it up, and whatever slack she has, I pick it up. It's like we're like great partners. I like to say we're great partners, and we became that. But it wasn't always like that. Like, she matured a lot. I was asking her, I think, it's like, what's the difference between back then and now? Like, she was saying she's more confident now. It's like she grew up, like, she's
Insecure.
well rounded. like
Mm.
like she's more confident. Like, she knows a lot of, not necessarily book stuff, but like social settings and things. That it was some wine that the guy, the waiter, it was our anniversary, so he gave us some kind of wine or drink.
Where'd y'all go? Where'd y'all go?
I mean, you're gonna think it's funny, but
McDonald's.
it's called Crest Chop House. So we're vegan, so we're not eating steak, but they have a vegan
Menu.
chef.
Mm.
They have a vegan chef on Saturdays. So it's been our third or fourth
Y'all
time. This
been
is kind
married
of
for
our spot.
18 years?
18 years
Married or together?
married, so we've been together
God
longer.
damn. Holy wow. Okay. Damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Mm, I'm sorry. Oh shit, man. Okay. All
that's a
right, yeah. All
it's a
right, so yeah,
long
it was
time.
nice.
Like, it's good.
It's a fucking real long time. And you touching 20, bro. You might as well just say you
Yeah,
married 20 years. Holy
yeah.
shit, 18.
But like my parents, they was I remember, it's 1977 they were married, and they was married for a long time. So I have no other intentions but to be married a long time. And like we was talking about that again last night. It's like our kids now, I mean, as quiet and shy as they are, all the family around them are married, like, and they're just one marriage. Like, it's not like they've been divorced. Like, everybody around them, my sisters, they all married to one person, like, for years. Like, I'm not the only one that's been 18 years. Like, I could go all the way
Mm.
down and have, you know, uh,
It makes it easy to detect what you're supposed to do when you're surrounded by so many
yeah,
examples.
right,
So it and where I'm from, we have some examples. I'm not gonna bash my family and say it's bad, but we don't have that many. You know,
Yeah.
And then we see a lot of problems amongst our family and other families abroad. So it's like, do I want problems too? you know, so that's why we don't rush and do it. But hey, man, hats off to you, man. 18 years, shit. Okay, I can't catch up to you now.
At least you could
I
try,
can't.
my guy.
Yeah,
At
yeah, we'll
least.
see. But yeah, I like it. I don't know. I think we covered some stuff here where we can distinguish between puppy love and the real thing. I think we both in agreement that you can find multiple ones. I mean, people get divorced and find somebody else. The best thing we can do is just learn from our mistakes. Like I said, I've had multiple possible ones, multiple puppy loves, and I'm not gonna be the one that did what everybody else do and point the finger and say it was their fault. I know I had my parts in messing up of that potential one, just like they did too. So um, we'll see. I
All right.
think I learned a lot from this one. Where let's see what happens with me.
Yeah, I mean, at our age, we should be having conversations. Our communication skills should be better. We should be having tough
Mhm.
conversations, or just wanting to know what each partner wants. Like, we should be having those conversations at our age, because we're wiser, we're older now. But at 18-year-old me, we were just having fun. Like I said, I knew I knew ahead of time that this conversation was going to be like in a real time conversation where I'm analyzing what I'm saying, because these thoughts was was never really had. Like, one of the things earlier was, you asked me, you now just asking each other like what you, yeah, it was just that question was never even thought about. It was just like an organic thing that led up to where
I
it
think
led
it's
up
a
to.
I think it's a question that everybody should ask, even if anybody's
But at what
listening to
age
this.
though? Like, at
Nah, at the
18, you want to
present.
know, hey, where you at? Like
No,
you just want to
well,
have fun. You just want to,
the pre
But
the
when,
pre the
yeah,
present. I think the present. Even if it's puppy love, at least you'll know. Hey, we both on the same page. We're having fun because that's what I think. Puppy love never either grows or it stays where it is because that question is never asked. You might be with, let's say, two young people meet each other, physical attraction, that's the only reason they're together, but the question is never asked, and one of these people are like you, looking for a marriage, they're looking for the ultimate goal, and the other one was looking for just fun, and they just keep going at it, but the question's never asked and it just goes separate ways. But the one that was having fun possibly would want to be looking for number one, but the question never asked. So they just continue doing what they're doing. Same thing
two
with
different
me and
things.
all my relationships. That question was never asked. So I was just continuing having fun. But I might have been with somebody that was looking for the same thing you and your wife have. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I
If you're
think that
looking for
question
the
should be
same
asked right
thing,
away.
if you're
Yeah.
both looking for the same thing, it doesn't make, it doesn't mean it's gonna last, it's gonna work, but
Right.
that's like half the battle. But like you said, if you both looking for two different things, want two different things, right away, either you're gonna say to yourself, all right, let me take what she wants, or how, let me say, okay, let's get off
No,
that.
but the question is never asked. Because like I said,
Yeah,
you and your wife kind of got lucky.
yeah,
You guys naturally were looking for the same thing and going for the ultimate goal. You left from New York, found something, and said, Terry, come on with me. She came without even subconsciously, not even knowing what she was doing. Neither one what y'all getting into, and you got it. That's kind of lucky.
yeah.
That's
But
why.
she knew what she wanted, and like, she knew what she wanted. I knew what I wanted, but we never communicated that. But the fact that
Yeah,
she came all the way to Florida is because she wanted something. Like I said, she wanted that family closeness that I had with my family. So she didn't
right.
have that. So she knew by coming, like, she would have that.
Right.
and that's why she came. I mean, we didn't have these conversations, but it was like organically, just naturally happen. And yeah, it is. It have a lot. Luck have a lot to do with it because we didn't have these conversations. Like we could have wanted to. Maybe I wanted something different, but I think she would have sensed it. Like I think you could tell. You know, a lot of times communication is important,
Wow,
but
it is, man, and this is good material here because this is something that I think a lot of people lack at and not asking these type of questions. What do you want? My girl asked me, "What do I want?" and she told me what she wants. That's what sets her apart from a lot of people that I've been with. And maybe the other ones asked me, but I just wasn't really listening. But the point is, it is no late time to ask. There is no late time, especially if you having doubt in a relationship. Ask, hey, what do you want? And let me tell you what I want. So neither one of us is wasting each other's time. You know, that's a very important question. So, you know, that's amazing. 18 years and never been asked that question and still was on the same playing field and got what you got. So, I mean, even people that's beside you, not trying to big your shit up. There's other stuff, other people out there that's going through the same thing, 20 years, and they just say, you know what, I just needed a partner, and she's a good one. Let me continue. But what if she's not happy or he's not happy, and he's on this same path with you for 18 years? You know what I mean? That question should be asked. Hey, we've been together for 10 years. I'm happy. Are you happy? Yeah. Why are you happy? Why are you why are we still together? You know what I mean? You guys finally asked that question yesterday, and some real good things came about it that you didn't even know and that she didn't know. You asked her, "Hey, why are you more? How are you a better person?" She said she's more confident now. That's good.
that's the thing
You
though.
helped
Like
her with that.
that's cool and everything, but like sometimes especially men, we can't really get it. That's why it's good to have a female perspective sometimes, and we need to have someone on the show to be honest. Like I'll ask my wife, like, God forbid something happened to me or whatever. It could be tragic or we just don't work out. It's like I was the one. Like now, can you go find another one? It's like my wife is like she wouldn't want to be with anybody else. Of course, that's like the political answer, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't, she wouldn't want to, like she don't need to have sex or anything like that. She don't need to be with somebody else. I'm like, to be honest, I don't believe that. Like, like I don't know. I don't feel like, all right. My part is right. I don't necessarily want to be married again for if it ever came about, but I would want to live again.
Mm-hmm.
So and part of living is having relationships, and I would want that again. But my wife is saying she wouldn't want that again, and I don't believe
So let me clarify this real quick. Cause I was just about to say, hey, chill, bro. You about to destroy your relationship right now. You telling you, hey,
that.
you want something else right now. All right. So you said like if it didn't work out, you would want to move on. Your wife said she wouldn't. It's a possibility. My great grandmother, when her husband passed, she never moved on.
But at
So
what
this
age though? At what age? We're talking like my mother when my
oh,
father
so you
died.
saying
She ain't
you
moving.
said yeah. Obviously, yeah. If you the shit
Because you
just
said great
oh
grandma. I'm
this
like, I
shit
don't know. We talk about 80, 70,
yeah,
60. What age we talking about? Like, we're talking about
60s, I
like in,
believe.
in, in your
She
in
was
your
she was she
40s.
was in her she had to be in her 60s when he passed or late 50s. Anyway,
Wait, that's why they have that term, the whole stage, because that's a real thing. It's like, you could be in your 40s. You only been like you had a handful of relationships and a handful of relationship. So you've been in a relationship for a long time, and then you guys get a divorce. You get a divorce in your 40s, and now you feel like, okay, I could go to clubs, I could party, I could date different guys. So we call that the whole stage. It's a real thing because divorces happen a lot. So
mhm.
like, you know, can would my wife have a whole stage if we were to, and like according to her, she said no, she wouldn't. That wouldn't interest her. It's like to be with different guys or whatever. Like that's not something that she wants, and I should take her at her word. But I don't necessarily feel that way. Like if it was the shoe was on the other foot, like I wouldn't. Like I said, I wouldn't be looking to be married again, but I would definitely be looking to have
That's another
relationships.
big topic because I'm sitting there calculating, thinking who do I know out there, and I know some single people and they're not happy. Um, it just all depends on, I guess, your situation. If God forbid something happened and you guys divorce next week, in your situation, I could see maybe you would want to move on. I don't know.
But
It's
wait,
just
like let's process that because if it is a divorce, more than likely one person messed up or did something wrong. It doesn't have to be infidelity, but it could be something that now that drives the next person to it drives their actions. Because just think about it, if it was a divorce and it was caused by me, maybe now she's angry or maybe she wants a
yeah.
get back.
She's probably not thinking about the worst case. She's probably thinking about the way I was looking at it because I'm hypothetically saying next week you both get a divorce for something strange and you both evenly mad or both evenly saying it can't work. You exhausted.
I think we were
You
more thinking,
as a man,
yeah,
it doesn't matter whether you hurt or not. If you're in your 40s, you're in your 30s, you're in your 50s, I don't think you want to be alone.
right.
Especially if you've been used to a partner. And then you can also depends on how your hand is looking. Meaning, like if you're the one with the kids, do you have little kids? Do you have big kids? Do you have grown kids? It all depends on the your hand that you have. But no matter what your hand is, that man, I don't think they want to be alone. They're gonna find somebody else. A woman, it all depends on their hand, and depending on their hand is if whether they want something or not, if they're gonna get it. Like let's say you don't get the custody of the kids, she has custody of the kids. It's gonna make her finding a partner harder because the man that she picks or settles with uh, is going to have to ask himself, oh, do I want to deal with somebody with little kids? You know what I mean? So it makes her situation harder. So she said she will move on by herself. I don't know, man. And again, it all depends on her resume, you know, because
Yeah,
a single mother with kids trying to do that shit by themselves,
yeah.
she's gonna be miserable.
You remember that episode of the Cosby Show
Mm-hmm.
when I think Claire and was it was Bill Cosby? What was it? Heathcliff, whatever. He there was in the bed or whatever, and it was asking each other
Oh yeah,
if she was
yeah.
to
Which
pass away,
yeah,
like because it was one of their
it
friends
was a
had
funny
brought over
episode.
a young lady, like younger person. He moved on with a younger person. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
like you're 100. I think you're 100% right. Like men would want that comfort or that someone to try to help take care of them. You know that
Mm-hmm.
type of love. A woman wouldn't necessarily need or want that, but she was like, would you move on? And how would like she was like, what if it was the same exact person as me? It's like, yeah, it was the same. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
but it was the episode was for I don't remember the exact lines, but
yeah.
we're definitely different. Men and women are definitely different. Um, so I'm starting to come around, just talking it, saying it out loud that she might be. I'll take her at her word and say that she wouldn't want to move on, but maybe she'll find someone. And like, honestly, I'm dead. I don't care. If I'm dead, I
Th-
don't care. But I would want my
this
wife
is
to be happy.
this is what men have to accept. And then again, I don't even know if they make those type of women anymore. Like me and my great grandmother, she passed away single. When her husband passed away, she stayed single until she passed away. Those type of women are very far in between. There's still some out there, but they're far in between. A woman on a day-to-day basis is constantly getting hit on. If they're happy at home, they keep the blinders on and not focus. I mean, and I focus on hearing all of the comments and the and the flattering comments like, hey, I can treat you better. But you're single now, and you're getting all of those, hey, come hang with me. You know what I mean? Eventually, I think they're gonna cave in. Nobody wants to be alone, especially if their situation is depressing. You got kids to raise, you got bills, you got living, and you're single. I just don't see it happening. I mean, and then you're so used to having a companion. I've been married for 18 years. She now has to do all these things by herself because you're not there to do the other half that she wasn't doing. So I'm gonna have to pull her card and say respectfully, bullshit. You cannot be single. And Lax was doing all that
like
other shit.
now I gotta like be
That,
her
now you gonna go.
to
Now
her
you gonna go.
defense. Now
Yeah.
I
Now you
gotta
go.
no because
Huh?
like I know I said now I gotta come to her defense because
Oh.
the other side of it is like you know what you want and you know what you're
Mm.
used to and certain things it could be
Oh.
something
So
like
she wants a
just
basically what you said. She wants a lax. So she's unless she finds another lax.
no and I used to think like I'm the greatest person out there like I used to think that but I don't think that anymore. I'm sure there's people better than me, guys who are better than me in whatever ways, but it's not, I don't think it's about that, you know. In like in my head I'm like yo, like you're not a lesbian, so like why wouldn't you be attracted to someone else, you know, like or allow someone to stimulate you in some kind of way because you're not a lesbian, you know. But it's like according to her is it will be like the word is like nasty, like you know, it's like certain things like I don't know to get into details, but it's just she probably wouldn't want that, you know, like men and women are different in a lot of regards and we're more nasty. Like we, you know, certain things like maybe like say before you get sexual, you know, we like to be clean, like shower, stuff like that. You don't know where people's stuff has been or who they've been with.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't necessarily want that around you or in you or whatever because it might in your mind feel nasty. So
Mm-hmm.
that will be her defense. Like that's how she thinks. Is like I said, we're different in that regard. Men and women are different, but I think in her case, like eventually, I think I agree with you. It might break that wall might break down, but initially, I agree. I think what she's saying, she wants like she wouldn't want that to move on or put herself in a position where she's with someone else because in her mind she's thinking about all of the stuff that's
Or she
nasty.
might be, just a traditional, just like your family. I mean, look at your mom. You know,
Yeah,
she's. I have.
yeah,
In fact, she no
right,
thoughts of moving on. You know what I
right,
mean? So
right. And
this is a small population out there, but I'm looking at the big one. I'm like, I don't believe you.
yeah, I want her to be. I want her. I would want her to be happy, especially if I'm not around. But to be
Yeah,
honest, I wouldn't want her to move on either. Like I
yeah.
want her to stay single.
Nobody did. Nobody did.
Like bro, like no,
Nobody
don't
did. Bro,
sleep in
I'll
my
be
bed
sitting
or
here
whatever.
sometime, be
Or
like, I hope all my exes are still waiting for me. But I know that's not true. You
uh,
know, everybody has to move on. So yeah,
yeah. Speaking of moving on, so
yeah,
it's about that
yeah,
time to get off the bus. I think it was
yeah,
a
man.
episode went better than I thought. There was some other things I wanted to touch on, but I guess we could touch on it another time.
Yeah, we'll get back. But this is another interesting topic. Hope everybody enjoyed puppy love versus the one. I'm close. You already been there 18 years in the running. 18 more coming your way. Let's see if I can get my first 18.
Go for it, man. Get on the
Yeah, that's what
bus.
everybody say. At my at work, they clown me like if she does anything nice, bro, marry her.
Bro,
We'll see. We'll see.
yeah, man. Good
We'll
talk,
see.
man.
All right, let's get off this bus.
All right.